Yeah. All right, so let's get personal. Let's get personal with the impersonal. I was thinking about um, Amy Steinberg's song, Intimate with the Infinite. You know, you've heard that song? Google it or YouTube it because she's got it on there. Yeah, and that's the idea here. Let's get intimate with the infinite. Let's get personal with this impersonal law that we talk about. The law is immutable, but it's dependable, but we must learn to work with it. And we've worked with it in a lot of different ways in our lives. I mean, I'll be picking up Johanna later on this evening because she's using that law by flying back in a plane that we've used the law to figure out how to fly all the way out into space. We got a Tesla floating out in the universe because we figured out how to get out into space, right? And surfers, I mean, they figure it out. And I was watching a kid learn how to ride a bike the other day, and I thought in working with this talk that I would figure out what it is that gets us to be able to ride a bike. And many people would say it's the gyroscopic effect, which is a law that makes us ride the bike. But no, what I found out, it's a very science of mind principle. It's our mind that allows us to ride a bike. It's our mind that allows us to use the law. Think about this. The gyroscopic effect works when a wheel is spinning, and it spins so fast that it stays upright. But a bicycle wheel doesn't spin that fast because we are the ones giving it motion. Now, a motorcyclist does because his motorcycle is traveling at a speed fast enough that it will do the gyroscopic effect. But on a bicycle, no. We have to learn that. It's the idea of the mind. What we're doing. And I was watching a kid do that the other day. He was wobbling. That's what we're doing. Every time we pedal around, we're pushing a little bit on the left side, so we lean a little bit to the right, push a little bit on the right side, so we lean a bit to the left. We're back and forth. We're doing this. But after a while, we get like Wally, and we're just straight because we ride so fast and do it so well. But most of us in the beginning are like the kid on the bike, kind of, And if you don't believe that it's a product of the mind, now, please put your guards on when you do this. Next time you're on a bicycle, switch your hands like this and see how far you go. You will fall over because your mind is like, this is how it's learned, right? So this is a very science of mind principle. I love that. That's getting intimate. That's getting personal with the impersonal. Learning how to ride a bicycle. Learning how to walk even. I got a friend of mine. I told you about my friend who has raised his kid on Facebook, Jeremiah. Well, now they have a new child. Lucy! Hello, Lucy! Now they're raising 2 kids on Facebook. I just saw the perfect selfie. There's Aaron and Ben with Jeremiah on his bicycle, and there's Lucy in Mama's lap, in Mama's chest, on one of those chest rider things, right? Wow, that's so incredible. But they're doing that, see? And that's, like I said, it's very science of mind. In living the science of mind, Dr. Holmes says, the principle of the science of mind is exact and mathematical, right? Impersonal, exact, mathematical. What? Our use of it is personal. I started out the talk today, or the morning, with that appeal to us to use the principles personally to implore the universe to experience more peace and justice through our consciousness. So let's get personal with it, because after all, God is very personal with us. We are surrounded by the divine presence. We live, we move, we have our being. In the scriptures, in the ancient scriptures, it says God is closer than the neck bone. The neck bone, that sounds like a southern delicacy. There is no spot where God is not. We are embraced. We are surrounded by the divine. And since it's like air, since it's completely surrounding us, it's awful personal with us. Why not get personal with it? In fact, it is us experiencing life on behalf of God, by means of God, for the purpose of Spirit. So since it has put itself into us, it's more than surrounding us, it's infused in every cell and fiber of our being. So maybe we should just get down and get busy with it. In Richard Rohr, in his weekly email he sends out from the Contemplation Action Commission, what is it? There it is, Center for Action and Contemplation, that place. He writes this: our divine DNA carries the creative impulse of the Creator. Carries the creative impulse of the Creator. Now the ... goes, even if you don't consider yourself creative or an artistic person, It is an inherent part of your being. This divine creative impulse is an inherent part of your being. And I also often think of DNA as your divine nurturing awareness, or your divine nurturing authority that's giving you the power and the strength to be that creative person. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be able to look at a marble slab and then pull out some tools and chisel the next David. That doesn't have to be your way to be creative. Simply having a new thought. Like part of your life is working one way and you don't like it, and you change the thought and it starts working in a different way. That's creativity right there, my friends. That's where it begins. I was thinking about us as divine beings with this creative urge within us that's desiring to be expressed, to be moved out more fully. And it reminded me of a story I did years ago when I was working in Texas. One of my first stories as a reporter. I'm sitting up against a tree. My back is against a tree. And I say, Choctaw, Kiowa, Lakota, Pawnee. Sound like an Indian story? Then I go, we're talking pecans. Most of the pecans, many of the varieties of pecans are named after our indigenous peoples, right? So what's the pecan got to do with your talk? Here's what it has to do with your talk. The pecan is in this shell, okay? It can't get out of the shell. We must crack the shell open. We must crack ourselves open. But the tastiest pecans do something very interesting in that shell. They fill it up to the maximum. There's no space left. Like it can't crack out by its own. We can't break out this creative urge by itself. We have to let it out. We have to let the meat of the pecan out. But when you crack a really good pecan and open that up, you can just see it's just swelling with that tasty meat. I must be hungry. Neck bones, now I want pecans. But that's our journey. See, we are here to maximize the creative impulse that's within us. We're here to grow to the edges of our shell so that the meat of our being is that sweet, tasty fruit of the divine coming forth into the world. That's our joy. That's our mission. That's our opportunity. That's our Choctaw, Kiowa, Lakota, Pawnee. You see? But as we heard in Dennis's songs, those inner thoughts, well, we're responsible for those inner thoughts. We're responsible for erasing beliefs and adapting new, for changing our thoughts. But there's this thing going on, and I've been reading one of Dr. Holmes' his little books, his thin books, are so packed with powerful stuff. There's one called It's Up to You, and in it he says, negative thoughts will produce negative results. Ta-da! While positive thinking surrounds you with an atmosphere which tends to draw good into your experience. Positive thinking draws the good. See, the positive thinking is like a magnetic attracting force. It says, positive thinking, good. Boom. Right like that, see? The more we can put our thoughts in that positive direction, the more we're going to pull that good into our experience. See, that's our personal response ability. We talked about this in our Power of Curiosity class yesterday, that one of the things you do when you're trying to shift into a space of curiosity is you ask, in a situation where things aren't going like the way you might want, right? You say, what am I responsible for? And it came up in the conversation that, well, I don't know that I should be responsible for how somebody else is acting. No, maybe not. But are you able to respond? What's our personal responsibility, and how do we apply that responsibility? You see? There was a guy that moved here from Canada back turn of the last century. Wow. That's interesting. This is a cool time. We're like spanning 2 centuries. I'm like my grandfather, because he was like that. He used to always talk about stuff that happened in the 1800s. I was like, dude, that was a long time ago. So back in the 1900s, dude, that was a long time ago. Jesus, I'm getting older. Oh, my God. But I can still ride a bike. I can ride faster than Wally. Where's Wally? I'm not going to. Oh, gosh. He's in the room. Now I've been challenged. So this guy, he moves here from Canada. And he decided he needed a business, so he knew how to make cheese. So he went into the cheese business. He had a little horse named Patty, and he and Patty would ride the neighborhood selling his cheese. Well, not many people were buying his cheese. And he would tell Patty while he's riding, Patty, we're going to be rich. We're in the land of opportunity, and we're going to do amazing things, amazing things. Well, it was a slow slog. Over time, the bills were higher than the income. His friend said, Lou, this cheese thing isn't working. You might just give it all up. No. Lou and Patty continued to plow the streets, keep on selling that cheese. And now, Lou Kraft is the 5th largest company in the world for beverages and cheeses. 3rd largest company in the United States. Lou Kraft. That's what he did. He kept his dreams alive. And look at today. Heinz 57 sauce, all that stuff, more than just cheese. The 3rd largest beverage company in the world. That's nourishing his mind. See, he nourished his mind like we nourish our body. We nourish our body with food. We nourish our mind with positive thoughts. Positive thoughts. That's our mind food. And the diet that's on the mind food plate, that's faith, that's hope, that's enthusiastic expectancy. Gobble it up. Gobble that stuff up. Put that on your plate and just have a good time with that. Every day when you wake up, eat a little hope, down some faith, guzzle a little bit of that expectancy enthusiastically. And when you do it enthusiastically, you're doing it in theo, God, in the ism of God, right? Drink some God every day. Why not, Yeah. After all, Dr. Holmes says, this is powerful. Take this in. You, let's get personal. You guys, you are the greatest single asset you will ever possess. The single greatest asset you will ever possess. Nothing is more valuable to you than you. Right? What are you going to do with it? How about grow the meat inside your pecan so it's so tasty, right, that everybody's all excited. Have positive thoughts that are so magnetic that your good just can't help from flow from you. And I see it. I see here in this room. I see demonstrations of it all the time, The heart that's in John, the food, the magnificence that's coming out of the junkyard, the voice that comes out of Lillian, the love, the dancing partners over here, the photographs out of Nell, the partnership of Nell and Shirley, right? Gray and her dedication to her acting. Andreas and Tracy and their family. Our newest grandparents, Brad and Lynn, yes. They're too young to be grandparents. Jesus Christ. My favorite travelers, Gita and Jay, living the life through them on Facebook. It's almost as fun as watching Jeremiah and Lucy grow up. This is what we get to do. Yeah, seeing John and Gabe hanging out together, father and son. That's the value that we have in life when we get personal with who and what we are and what we're all about. Seeing Flo loving her kids and her grandkids. That's what it's all about. Yeah. So this is the good news. The good news is we can shift our thoughts. We can move into a new direction. We can actually believe that this is too good to be true is not true at all. That's one of Dr. Holmes' sayings. He says that for too long we have formed the habit of thinking a thing is too good to be true. Well, you know what? Nothing is too good to be true. In fact, Mark Anthony Lord has a wonderful phrase. He's one of our Science of Mind ministers. He says, this is so good, it must be true. That's really what it's all about. See, this law as a principle is so dependable. It's so available to us. And the good that comes into our lives, we don't need to even question it. We simply relax into it and trust it and know that it will unfold. There was a janitor working for an Episcopal church, and the minister of that church, not like anybody here, would leave notes all around the building for people to do when he would go away on vacations or take business trips, whatever. He'd leave a note, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Well, I send emails. But this janitor couldn't read or write. So he got fired because he wasn't doing what was on the notes. He was let go. But he was a pretty industrious kind of fella, kind of a Lou Craft sort of guy. He went into business. He became quite wealthy. He was talking to his banker one day. The banker was asking him to sign some papers, and he says, to tell you the truth, I don't read and I don't write. You don't read and you don't write? And you've amassed this incredible fortune with your business? Wow, imagine where you'd be if you could read or write. He said, yeah, I'd be a janitor at an Episcopal church. So what I'm saying is, right? See, I think sometimes we take life just way too seriously. We're like carrying I got an atlas, my journey is so, my burdens are so, nah. Dr. Holmes says, relax. He says, in fact, you are not carrying the world on your shoulders. It is sustained by a power greater than you are. And the great thing is that power is available for us to use, and that power is us itself. We have within us that same power that molds the planets and holds them in place. That's as expansive as the universe. So then our ability to grow that inner meat, that inner joy of us is as expansive as the universe. This is very cool, And we can all read and write, and we're not janitors at an Episcopal church. Think of what our futures are. Whoa, that's powerful. Yeah, right. I'm done. I just dropped the mic. It's over. So it's time for us to get personal with the impersonal, and it begins with getting personal with ourselves. Personal with our own thinking, our own being, who we really are. But sometimes people say, I don't have any connections. I have no influence. My people ain't got no people. You know how people say, my people got people. Some people say, my people ain't got no people. I can't, I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know. No. You see, we do have an incredible influence. We have an incredible influence within us. It's not that we need pull. I don't have anybody to pull for me or support me in that. That's not it at all. Dr. Holmes says, it's not pull that we need, but to listen more intently to the inner push of the Spirit. See, there's an inner urge calling us forward all the time. And life has sometimes told us, damp it down. Don't be too bright. Don't be too brilliant, like the Marianne Williamson / Nelson Mandela quote. It's not our fear. It's our greatness that we fear, It's our playing small that does not serve anyone. We have this divine urge within us, and it's pressing us to express, and it's up to us to use our mind to grab the power of this infinite source, this single greatest possession within our lives. You see, and as you use it, you will get more of it. I'm a perfect example. John was teaching me how to play. Teaching me how to play the guitar, and I was doing pretty good. And I let the lessons go. A couple days ago, I went to pick up the guitar to play. My fingers are fused together again. I'm still trying to separate them so I can play the chords. And that was only like 4 or 5 months of time off. If you don't use it, you will lose it. If you do not use your mind, exercise your mind every day. Think positive thoughts. Feed it. What are you feeding? What are you eating every day? Hope, faith, enthusiastic expectancy. Gobble it up every single day. Get personal with yourself. Get personal with this impersonal law. That's what it's all about. So are we ready? Let's get personal.
Yeah.
And so it is.
Woo. On fire. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So now, let's do this again, right? Here we go. The law is impersonal. However, my use of it is very personal. So much so that it is done unto me as I believe. With power now, well, I believe I can. Yes, that's it. Mm-hmm. Oh, prayer time. Yes, yes, indeed. Okay, so if you're a visitor here, haven't been here before, we practice affirmative prayer, the Science of Mind 5-step prayer, recognizing the divine, unifying with the divine, stating our truth in an affirmative way, and knowing that that vibrational truth that we state is coming into existence because it's happening now. In infinity, everything's already existing. So we're just doing this magnetic pull of our good into our lives, right? So we speak that word into the universe, we speak it out loud, and then we affirm it together in this prayer. So in this moment, I offer you the opportunity, if you have someone in your mind, someone in your life, someone, just yourself, maybe it's just gratitude that you'd like to express out loud for us to share in prayer, I offer you that time right now. We call John, Patricia, Maggie. Safe travels for Johanna. Prosperity and abundance for our center. Join me in taking a breath. And with that breath of spirit, I zoom into the core of my being, and I allow and invite everyone here to just zoom in, to imagine yourself just collapsing down to your very core, to that divine spark of divinity within you. That's God. It's motivated, impulsed by the power of love. It outpictures in the world through a law that becomes the good of our very experience. So what I'm knowing right now is this power, this presence that is me, that is everyone here, desires to allow us the kingdom to be expressed as our lives, for our experiences to be more joyous, more harmonious, more fulfilling, more satisfying, more soothing to the planet itself and to each other and all of its inhabitants, be they four-legged, two-legged, slithering on their bellies, whatever it is, life desires to be expressed. And in this moment, we recognize that desire and we anchor it with this understanding that it moves forward in a graceful, easy way that provides for more satisfaction, more joy, more harmony, more growth, more fulfillment in each and every experience of life. So whether it's a healing that we're calling for, or a revealing that we're looking for, or a return to harmony, or just merely, wow, life is good and very good, and I am so grateful. We say thank you for that understanding. Thank you for that awareness. Thank you for the power of the mind to make a new choice, to flip the switch, to turn the direction, to feed on the nourishing food of the divine, faith, hope, and enthusiastic expectancy. We bring that into the fore, and we allow it to be the experience of our lives through this prayer, and we know it's happening right here and right now. And so with deep trust, we no longer hold on to the idea, we let it go into the law, which knows to fulfill, and is doing so at this very moment. And so it is. Mm-hmm.